Mike Gill, State of Corruption. I'm going to attach a video of an executive council meeting that I had in the late summer. This was the nomination approval hearing of Jerry Little to be the banking department commissioner. All right? Now, at this meeting, I want you to pay particular attention. To my left is Colin Van Ostrin. To my right is Chris Sununu. All right? Now, these are the Democratic candidate for governor, the Republican candidate for governor, and as I was the independent candidate for governor, and we're sitting this close. Now, the subject of this video was Mr. Little becoming the commissioner and the corruption of the banking commissioner. Now, I brought up the Ponzi scheme, FRM, that they were covering up. I brought up the drug laundering and the protection of banking commission. I indicated that the banking commissioner previously was an insurance defender and not a banker. Right? So in other words, we brought these subjects up. Drugs, corruption in the banking department, and even the fact that Chris Sununu was in communications with State Senator Avart that I was working with, that he was putting in a bill for the people of FRM, and it turns out to be completely corrupt. And Avart admitted the corruption as I put a package together in the Department of Justice. He then turned around Avart and gave it to the same corrupt AG's office, and that Sununu turned around and texted him, was smelling blood in the water, and was communicating with these victims. Now the point I'm making today is that what you're going to see in this video is they did not ask me one question. Wow. We're proving you don't want to know about laundering drugs? You don't want to know about a Ponzi scheme? No. Now that's who you're running as the other governor candidates. Let's look at him for a second. Colin Van Ostrin. Who the hell is this guy? The only thing I got him out of the last 10 years is he's a yogurt maker. He doesn't own the yogurt company, he just works for the yogurt company and a nonprofit in college. You know what? He was the advisor to Jean Shaheen. She takes out one puppet, Hassan, to replace it with another puppet. Who the hell is this guy? In fact, you want it odd? His real name is Kevin Colin O'Loughlin. The fuck? Right? He didn't ask a thing. He's a shill. And let's go to Sununu. Who the hell is he? Wow, we all know. Daddy. Right. This is just the Sununu family. What, did he get born with a crown on his head? What the hell has he done? These guys sit on the executive council. They have the biggest impact on the governor. How have they done? Right? Jobs? Are you shitting me? We lose more jobs. What did we lose? 1,000 jobs in the last week? Check it. Between Dartmouth and there was an investment company that just laid off 400 or 600. Listen, they're running from New Hampshire. This guy just expects the win to be crowned. They had an opportunity to show you they cared. They had an opportunity not to just question the corruption and come forwards. So watch this video and ask yourself who you should be voting for. Mike Gill. Try to keep it brief, but I will keep your attention, I promise. Now, I haven't heard too many people who've been in the mortgage business sitting down and talking to you. So my name is Mike Gill, and I own the Mortgage Specialist. And I've owned them for 26 years. Now, we were the #1 broker, not just only in New Hampshire, but in the United States, multiple years. In addition, Fannie Mae has recognized me and I've done their training videos. So you could say I'm an expert in the mortgage business. Now, Mr. Perlow, who recently resigned. You may remember I just called him a drug launderer. He didn't dispute that. He resigned instead. Mr. Perlow, we spoke, Mr. Pappas, you brought up primary bank. Mr. Sununu, you brought up FRM. Well, you know who reported the scandal of FRM to the AG's office? Well, that would be myself. Right, 2007. You know who I reported it to? Assistant Attorney General Perlow. Isn't that interesting? Now, Perlow, by the way, is an insurance defender for McLean Law Firm. Now, seeing that we've taken this time to find out making the proper choice, how did an insurance defender become our banking commission? Is he was covering up the crimes of FRM. The crimes of FRM are important because it brings you into the corruption in the banking department, right? For instance, Mr. Little sits right next to Kevin Abard. Kevin Abard is the one who sponsored the bill for FRM. Except for, if you remember, and I put it on stateofcorruption.org, if you're on notice, that I said the hearing was corrupted. And what did we have? George Lambert, who worked with Mr. Abard on the bill, confessing on a radio interview with me, telling the victims of that to be quiet. In fact, Mr. Sununu, I talked to Mr. Abard, and Mr. Abard was putting together a complaint along with mine to the Department of Justice. You talked him out of it. In fact, you had him put it to the AG's office. Now think about this. Well, I have text messages from I have the text messages with me. In fact, his exact words was, Sununu smells blood in the water. And when we're done, you can read them to everybody if you'd like. And Mr. Abard is not that aware for him. Mr. Sununu. And then Mr. Sununu, then you called Harry Bean the same day. I spoke to Harry. He said that you guaranteed him that Mr. Head wouldn't have a position on this council. Right? Harry Bean said that on the same day. No, I have those text messages. So this is a power play here. So but remember now, so Kevin Abard with FRM. What happened with FRM? Hildreth, the banking department, own brothers were on the Ponzi scheme. I reported it to Perlow.
You're going to make the nexus to Jerry Little, right?
Excuse me?
You're going to make the nexus.
Oh, this is what Mr. Little was with Mr. Abard and putting FRM complaint together. See, here's the move. So what happened? They canceled the hearing now, didn't they? They didn't make a decision on that. And this is the reason why. That is in the way to the banking department. What's happening is the banking department in Perlow is protecting the crop, which involves the drug launderers. Real Estate Credit Union, I called them out. Furley, Florida, who was the assistant banking commissioner during FRM, who became the banking commissioner afterwards, was accused of not going after and protecting the people. We just made him the CFO of Real Estate Credit Union. Primary bank, front page of the Union Leader, right? They're not going to sue me. I just called them drug dealers. You know them, right, Mr. Pappas? In fact, you're friends with Mr. Angos, aren't you? Exactly. See what I'm saying? So they are protecting them. They're not federally audited. They're state audited. That's why. That's the secrets in the state comes out in there. And so the drug launderers are putting their money primary bank. They're not being audited. They're being audited. So the associate been friends with you for quite a few years, hasn't he? Right. He is the move. Control the banking department. You control the silence of the people in this state. What I'm saying is, simply put, have an investigation with the Department of Justice. Now, I just received 87 complaints back from the Department of Justice that it is being investigated. The DEA has known for 6 years that these are individuals that are involved in the corruption. So the banking department, that's what we're going on right now. Mr. Perlow leaves the minute I call him a drug launderer. Now let's think about this. Kakavas, who was the prosecutor of FRM, right? His business partner, Mark Howard, represented FRM. He was his business partner months before. Nobody noticed? How about the appraisers? They only had 9 to 10 appraisers on each house. Where did they go to jail? Where did the lawyers go to jail in closing them? They were covering for Sununu. Sununu is part of that Ponzi scheme. And that's why Shaheen, we're right about the rest of you. And if you'd like to see the text messages, oh, right. So you didn't text Mr. Abard. You didn't talk about FRM women, did you?
Right. So we do have the evidence, and it is with the Department of Justice, and I demand that this committee has to review this, has to go into it, go and investigate those banks. Listen, did you notice the drug dealers didn't want to sue me? Call me a drug dealer and see if I don't sue you, right? And everything I'm saying about you and you, I can verify, right? That's the play. There's no mistakes here. An insurance defender is the banking commissioner. Listen, I have fault consent orders from these people. They've offered me $50 million to be quiet. Now I have that. I put it on the internet. You'd like to see it, Mr. Sununu? Would you like to see it? No, I didn't think so. So it's all there. Liberty International. Right. All I have to do is be quiet. But they're protecting the people that are killing our children. They own the treatment center. This is involved. This is the laundering of that money. Any questions? I didn't think so. And the tool that I haven't...
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You made 80% of your argument towards the FRM. We're here with a public testimony.
Did you hear drug dealers too?
No,
Did you hear money laundering?
I know all about drug dealing, like in the previous life.
Really? Did you know they're
But
laundering?
I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
you mentioned very little about the candidate before us today.
The candidate was working with Avard on the false... This was the deal with the bill. Lambert worked with the victims, told the victims not to say anything. It's on the radio. He confessed, right? And, oh, did you shrug? Did
No,
you want to look at the radio
I-
show? So this is what happened. They talked to those victims. Little worked with Avard on this. There you go. How's that? And then they do, tell me why it didn't go to the Department of Justice. I can put the complaint on it. He's saying it was all a scam. The state senator who sponsored the bill. Now, I did get it to the Department of Justice. What did we ask him? So it is directly related. So if Mr. Little worked with Avard on the bill, FRM bill, that turned out to be a scam, they were trying to have the victims take pennies so they wouldn't investigate the banking commissioner. That's a fact. We did it on Wrong Talk on a radio. Lambert confessed. He was getting 20% for the victims. So does that answer your question?
No, but I'll take
Well,
that
then you
as
just
an
didn't
answer.
understand. Here.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions?
Further questions?
I didn't think so. And the tool in my box is a hammer. Thank you.
And a big screen TV. Thank you. You're welcome. Council Sununu, you wish to respond?
Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm not responding.
Just time you want to see those text messages.
Just ask.
Ernest, is it Loomis?
Yes, sir.